Hello friends, Pastor Kelly here with you for another edition of Sound Bites. We've been talking about the graceful life, and we've been defining grace, and I think we've covered the last couple, 3 or 4 little devotionals: undeserved favor, unconditional favor, unreciprocal favor, unchangeable favor. And we're going to continue to reiterate some of these truths in other ways and over the next month or so, because I want to really spend some time on this. But how do we get it? Let's just get something practical here. We can talk about these great truths and experiential, this positional truths that Jesus Christ accomplished for us on the cross. But how do we realize that into everyday life? So it impacts our marriage. It impacts how we think about others, how we think about ourselves, how we think about God, and how we think about our relationship with God. See, the grace of God has to go beyond just being a pretty picture we put on a wall and talk about it. It's supposed to have real-time, real-life impact in our lives as they are right now, in the practical things of our life. Romans 5:2, one of my favorite Bible verses, it says, "Through him we have obtained access by faith into this grace in which we stand, and we rejoice in the hope," elpis, with the expectation of receiving it in Hebrew, "in the glory of God." So we have obtained access. We believe by faith into this grace in which we stand. So we have this grace that we believe and we know we stand. God has placed our standing in grace. We didn't step into the standing, okay? We didn't earn the standing. It's simply the blood of Christ cleansed us of all unrighteousness, and Jesus Christ, when he resurrected, imputed righteousness to all those who believe in him, and that's the grace in which we stand. And now, because we stand in that grace, we have hope. And like I said, the biblical hope is an understanding that it will actually be received. It's elpis. We're actually going to receive it, of the glory of God. So we stand in God's favor. You do, I do, in my current state, in a fallen state, in a sense, a backslidden state, or I'm just getting out of Sunday morning service state. And I probably should have just yelled at my kids to, boy, I just spent an hour in prayer state. It doesn't change our standing. We stand in favor the same way. This is what I love about this verse. And this is, I think, the essence of faith, essence of grace, is the war's ended. This is how we can maybe just end this week anyway. The war is ended. The war between God and man, the war that sin created, put into enmity, a division between a creator and his creation. That war has ended, and grace did that. Grace was the great ambassador, the great mediator that took the love of God and the holiness of God and was able to bring them together through the bridge of the grace of God. Jesus Christ, the just dying for the unjust. So the ceiling now for you and the ceiling for me and everyone who names the name of Jesus Christ is blown off. There is no limit. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you've come from. I don't care what you've done. I don't care what your history is. I don't care what has happened to you. There is no limit to how far you can go in your relationship with God, and there's no limit in what God can do in your life, for your life, and through your life. There's no ceiling on it because of the grace of God. It's a glorious gospel. God bless you all. We'll talk to you next week.